Hey guys, Shaky Domain, Debut.com with the Debut.com Surf Forecast Update. This forecast update effective around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, March 3rd, 2017. And wanted to start you off over here in the Bay of Campeche. And for those who have been following, you know, we posted last week possible repeat performance to last Saturday's surf alert. And this is the area of low pressure that the models were hinting last week. At that repeat performance, models were hinting that this area was going to lift up towards the northern Gulf of Mexico and then shift over to the east across Florida and possibly see another gale off the East Florida coast, repeating that performance that we had last week. Lots have changed since then. We've backed off of that call, but we also wanted to show you this this morning to show you what we see and how the season seems to be progressing. Today marks 90 days until the official start of the 2017 Atlantic Tropical Cyclone season. And when you put it in perspective, guys, 90 days is not that far away. So we'll show you those key signs that we're looking for. We're not expecting anything tropical to develop. But if you think about this with us, over the last 5 years, 4 of the last 5 years has seen early tropical development. In 2012, we had Alberto, May 19th, and Beryl, May 26th, 2 May tropical storms. So when you think about Alberto, May 19th, it probably started getting its act together around the 16th, around the middle of May there, and then came Beryl. In 2013, we had Andrea on June 5th. 2015, we started the season off real early with Anna, May 8th. And then 2016 was an abnormal year with Hurricane Alex forming January 12th. And then we followed that up with the early season tropical storm Bonnie, May 27th. So we're seeing some earlier development early in the season. So with 90 days away, minus out 14 days, guys, we're getting in that 2-month window before the season is getting ready to start. When I switch you over to a satellite loop, this was yesterday's image. I meant to point that out to you. This is yesterday's image and wanted to show you the progression over the last 24 hours. And as you can see, as that area moves off towards the west, notice how we get some convective flare-up. Water temperatures over in the Gulf of Mexico are starting to approach, at least down in here in the Bay of Campeche. We'll show you that here in just a few moments, that the water temperatures are approaching warm enough temperatures to start to support tropical development. That's one of the key signs that we're also looking for. But notice how this convective flare-up as it moves off towards the west in here. And so this goes back to that rule of thumb. Always watch tail ends of fronts or along stalled or dying fronts for an area of low pressure to develop. And that is very important during tropical season, because even though models may not show something developing, something can develop in real time. Looking at the latest water temperatures, you can see that through the Caribbean, water temperatures are hovering right around 80 degrees. It's mid to upper 70s over here in the Bay of Campeche. If we go look at that buoy this morning, you can see that there has been some up and down spikes in here. A big drop overnight down into about 77 degrees. But you can see that the max down in the Bay of Campeche has been hitting over the last 5 days at about 78 degrees. So water temperatures are starting to warm up. I know that down here in the loop current, if you look at the loop current right up here off the western tip of Cuba, the Gulf Stream runs like this, up through Florida and then up along the east coast. The Yucatan Channel buoy, I think, is right at about 80 degrees, maybe about 82 degrees, and 82 degrees is the minimum sea surface temperature to get some tropical activity going. So again, guys, we are starting to see the signs that the season is progressing. We're working our way towards tropical season. Looking at the latest 96-hour NOAA swell forecast, switching you over to the Atlantic now. NOAA showing 12 to 13 second swell periods developing and fanning out. The majority of the Atlantic is in a westerly swell component behind these hurricane force lows that have been developing recently. Strong northerly fetch is forecast to develop from Nova Scotia down in here past the Outer Banks, down past the Outer Banks over the next 72 to 96 hours. Now, there is a shot for Northeast Florida, maybe Central Florida, coming up on Wednesday at a possible surf alert. It'll be a one-day window, here today, gone tomorrow, kind of like we just saw with that. But what's interesting to note is when we look down here at the NOAA 96-hour wind wave forecast, notice here some 30-knot easterly winds here, 30-knot east-northeast winds here into the Bahamas, and then some 30-knot easterly flow over here in the Gulf of Mexico. Seas increasing 12 to 15 feet in here in the central Gulf of Mexico and east-southeast swell. But back over here, so this is on Monday, some 30-knot winds aimed in here, and we have high pressure rotating. Now, Wednesday, it looks like the winds for Northeast Florida, there are some timing differences, but here's where the offshores come. So as far as swell is concerned and the combination of offshore winds, it looks like Northeast Florida, Central Florida in here has got the best shot at offshore winds. I'm going to walk you through the GFS model run. Now, this is the most recent run, and it's a really, really pretty model run, and we'll keep you inside the 10-day window now. So we've got a 1032 millibar high out here over in the east central Atlantic. This is causing winds to come out of the east northeast at about 10 to 15 knots, and we have high pressure now in here building towards the southeast. We'll advance the model for you, and you'll notice that a little clipper low drops in just south of Nova Scotia in here, and the pressure gradient begins to tighten up. This is a strong northerly fetch. This image is for Sunday, and this is going to get that northwest swell that we showed you in the swell model forecast in here going. Now, as we advance the model for you, notice how this starts to spread out a little bit. Unfortunately for Puerto Rico, it looks like some strong east-southeast winds, east-northeast winds coming over the top of the islands. So the only real spot will probably be Rincon on the south side. There should be a large swell that'll pass through that channel there, and hopefully on that side of the island with the winds coming out of the direction that they're coming, hopefully be favorable for some nice winds for a large swell event that's moving through. As we move you through the model run now, look at this beautiful 975 millibar area of low pressure spin up. I'm going to back that up for you. This is going into Wednesday, and then here comes that offshore winds in here on Wednesday for central North Florida as another area of high pressure begins to move in. Now look at how this thing wraps up, and then the tail end of the front, almost just like we're seeing again now, down in here in the Bay of Campeche. Advance the model for you a little bit more. That moves up towards the North Atlantic. High pressure again builds back in towards the Mid-Atlantic, switching the winds out of the northeast. This is for Thursday, March 9th in here. Now watch out here in the eastern Atlantic, because here comes a possible chance at spring's first east-southeast trade wind swell setting up. So things are starting to get a little exciting. Advance the model for you just a little bit. This is going into next Friday, and notice how the model spins up an Azore low in here. Now we'll get with that high pressure parked over the southeast. East-northeast winds now into the Florida coast. Easterly flow across the Gulf of Mexico. Advance the model for you. We're still inside of 10 days. And now here comes this possible east-southeast trade wind swell setting up. This is for the following Saturday. Inside of 10 days, advance the model for you just a little bit. And I want you to notice how the pressure gradient starts to tighten up in here. And then what happens to the shape of this Azore low in here. Advance the model just a little bit more for you, and then this becomes positive swell production out of the east-northeast in here. And then whatever swell is generated through this Azore low, if the model validates, guys, mind you, this is one run of many, and there's going to be changes, but east-northeast swell generated here gets pushed into this 1034 millibar area of high pressure like this. And then watch down in here as the pressure gradient begins to tighten. This could get spring's first east-southeast trade wind swell coming in, with offshore winds in here again coming up, with the possibility of some fun surf coming. Getting really excited, guys. That's all we got for you for now. Stay tuned for the next update.